Borky, did we? I'm not sure that we exhausted or ever actually answered the question that you had a moment ago. Betting odds on the Hattiesburg Super Regional. Ole Miss is a minus 135 favorite. Southern Miss is a plus 105 underdog. Neither of those are outlandish, right? I mean, for Ole Miss, you bet 135 to win 100. For Southern Miss, you bet 100 to win 105. So those are not like crazy out there odds in either direction. But your initial question was, were you surprised that Ole Miss was a favorite, and should they be a favorite? What's your answer to that question?
Surprised, no. Should they be? Also, no.
Okay. Why should Southern Miss be the favorite?
Better starting pitching for all three games if they get to three. That's very important. I was having a debate with a friend last night because he heard me say that Southern Miss has the advantage on the mound in starting pitching, and he said, I think DeLucia and Elliott could be on Southern Miss's rotation. I said, yeah, that's two guys. Also, I don't think anybody's upending Tanner Hall, but that's two guys. There's three that apply here, and Southern Miss is a clear advantage to me, especially if this gets to a game three. So the home bump plus, I think if they do have to play three games, Southern Miss would have a clear advantage to start game three.
What do you think, Haydad?
I'm with Borky. I'm not surprised they're favored, but I don't think they should be favored. Southern Miss has been a top 15 team for most of the season. Pitching wise, they have a huge advantage. They are at home. But that being said, I won't be surprised if Ole Miss wins this Super Regional. But Southern Miss, I would think, should be a very slight favorite. But I'm not surprised that Ole Miss is.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for brand recognition and for Power Fives.
Yeah, if you got a casual bettor in like New York that's like, Ole Miss or Southern Miss. Well, SEC, boom, $100, whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
you're going to get
casual bettor in New York. Casual bettor in New York is one of those teams is the national champion. Just bet on that one.
You might be onto something there. If this were a football game, if this series were a football game, what would the line be? And I know I'm very much apples to oranges here.
Ole Miss minus 2.5.
2.5, yeah. 1.5, 2.5.
And I would argue that probably, if that's the case, if Ole Miss is giving up points, then taking the points would probably be the right play. But I would argue that it really should be a pick'em. I completely get what you're saying, Borky, about the pitching advantage for Southern Miss in the aggregate, right? Across the entire season, yes. But does it make sense to look at the entire season if you're looking at numbers? I mean, if you're looking at the stat sheets and putting them side by side, you're like, okay, one of these pitching staffs is like a high school pitching staff, and one of them looks like an MLB staff if you take the entire season. But if you shrink the sample size into what have you done for me lately, they look a whole lot more balanced. I guess the question that I would ask is that which is more relevant? The entire season of numbers or the numbers over the last 6 weeks? Because I do think we all agree that Ole Miss has pitched it in a way that none of us even thought was possible at the halfway point of SEC play over the last month.
Yeah. No, again, I think Hall's the best one out of the group. I mean, you can call it scratch if you'd like. I mean, could you sit here and say Dylan DeLucia is better than Tanner Hall? No. Same thing with Hunter Elliott, and vice versa even. You could. I'm laser focused on that third game, though. If they split the first two and it comes down to Derek Diamond Southern Miss clearly has the advantage there. That's what I'm focused on more so than the first two guys. Because DeLucia has shut down SEC lineups. Hunter Elliott's done the same. Southern Miss just played an SEC team this weekend, and they got good starts. Southern Miss didn't lose game 2 to LSU because of the start. It was an elite-level start. Bullpen cost them there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hyper-focused on if they split the first two, where the advantage lies, and it lies with Southern Miss. I mean, we saw it even though Ole Miss won by 1 billion runs in Game 3. You saw it there.
Clinton Batesville says USM's pitchers would not be as impressive if they had faced SEC bats all year. One of you responded they faced SEC bats this past weekend, and the point that he followed up was with high runs scored against them.
That's said by somebody that didn't actually watch the games, though. No offense. It just you didn't watch the games if that was your takeaway from this weekend and Southern Miss's pitching and their ability to do it again this weekend.
Yeah.
You're just looking at final scores.
I do think you look at that first game where they played Army and they faced an ace, because if there is a little bit of an Achilles heel for Southern Miss, it has been offensive production. They won against Army 2-0. Tanner Hall was untouchable in that game.
And that was Army's conference pitcher of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Is he better than Dylan DeLucia?
Nope.
No.
Good pitcher. Really good. Battled that day. No.
Yeah. I had a point I was about to make, and I can't remember what it was. That drives me crazy. It was along those exact same. Anyway. So, starting pitching advantage, slight favorite to Southern Miss, right?
I think so.
Bullpen. Where's the advantage there? For
now,
a lot of the,
it's Ole Miss.
I was going to say, for a lot of the season, you would say Southern Miss because Landon Harper was so good and Dalton Rogers has been so good, and they've just had a lot of arms that they've really believed in along the way. But those guys have gotten roughed up a little bit. LSU really got after Landon Harper. Ole Miss, with the combination of Josh Mallitz and Mason Nichols and Brandon Johnson at the back end, they didn't give up an earned run in 3 regional games. Somebody says, think you guys are overlooking Hurston Waldrop. He may be the best one on the staff. He's really good.
Yeah.
And there's Riggins also. There's no debate. The starting pitching for Southern Miss is outstanding. Do you guys think this is a low-scoring series?
Wouldn't surprise me.
I feel like if it's a high-scoring series, it favors Ole Miss a lot. So for Southern Miss, they need to keep it a low-scoring series.
USM is 5-2 versus the SEC this year, for the record.
And somebody points out, I mean, it was a long time ago, but Mississippi State's offense wasn't bad this past season, despite the team being bad. If you say that Tanner Hall would have been roughed up in an SEC schedule, remember what he did to them? What was it, 7 complete, 5 hits, 13 strikeouts?
Say that one more time.
7 complete innings, 13 strikeouts, scattered 5 hits.
Yeah.
Only took 98 pitches to get through 7 complete.
I remember the point that I was going to make a second ago. Sorry. It took me a minute to get back to it. And now I don't have enough time to do it. We will explore this more as the week goes along. Great velocity from the starting pitchers for Southern Miss. Ole Miss has been a better breaking ball hitting team than they have been a fastball hitting team. They have at times gotten overwhelmed by the fastball. What's the pitch mix going to be with Tanner Hall? Is he going to just pump fastballs and make Ole Miss beat him on the fastball? Or is he going to rely on some secondary stuff to try and keep hitters off balance? I don't know.